garage. Today, I figured I'd kill two birds with one stone. One of them being laundry, and the other one being making a video, giving y'all a little bit of a life update since I've last made a YouTube video, because it's been about 4 years. A lot has changed in 4 years. Since my last YouTube video, I was living in a different house. This is the garage. Don't mind the mess. This was all my husband's doing. So my husband will be doing the cleaning for that. I'll give you a life update on what the past 4 years has been for me and the family and stuff. I now have a 3-year-old son. He's gonna be 4 in May. I guess my last update was like a pregnancy update from way back then. And so now he's 3 years old. I'm now pregnant with baby number 2. Baby number 2 is going to be a girl. She's due at the end of May. So we'll see how that all works out. What happened in 2020? In October of 2020, I was supposed to get married to my now husband, right? COVID happened because COVID fucked everything up. We had to postpone the wedding. How I ended up getting pregnant. And 2021 was actually the year shit got going for me. Like, for us, I should say. In 2021, I had my son in May. We adopted a dog in April. We got married in October of that year. We also sold our first home, which was the home I used to live in, and bought this home because it was bigger. And at first we were just gonna do like a refinance and like make our, I guess, house payments somehow lower with that. But when we found out we made like $100,000 in equity on that house just by sitting in it for 2 years, we decided to sell it and get something bigger and better. We were able to sell our first home, buy our second home, have a baby, adopt a dog, and get married all within a 6-month time span. Yes, it was a lot. Did anything happen in 2022? 2022, my sister got married. I had a falling out with my brother and his wife because of that wedding. That's a whole different story for a different video, I think. It's all drama. But basically what happened was my sister wanted a kid-free wedding. The only exceptions to that rule were that anybody who was in the wedding party could bring their kids, but anyone under the age of 12 or 14, I don't quite remember which, was not really invited to attend. So most people were cool with that, except for my sister-in-law and my brother. First they played it off like everything was fine, no issues with finding a sitter. But then the day of comes around and there's an issue now. My sister kind of stood her ground, which is fine because it was her wedding anyway, like what the fuck. So a whole thing happened at the wedding right before the reception. So my brother, his wife left and didn't come back. My brother's wife, actually, I'll just call her my brother's wife because I don't even deem her as like a sister anymore, texted my sister while at the reception of her own wedding, saying shit like, I can't believe you'd uninvite your nieces and blah 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 blah. You know, only 5 people attended your wedding anyway. Like, fucked up ass shit, alright? Like, you can't tell me that wasn't out of malice and trying to be mean to someone on their wedding day. So, me being the bitch I am, I ended up getting really drunk that night, and I ended up saying some choice words over voicemail because they refused to answer their phones. I don't really remember everything I said that night, but apparently it pissed off my brother's wife enough. Long story short is, we don't speak anymore. Other than that, my sister's wedding was pretty nice. Pretty low-key for the most part. More than 5 people showed up, I should say. And I haven't talked to my brother's wife since. She hasn't really shown her face to our side of the family since, yada yada yada. 2023 happened. What happened in 2023? I'm trying to think. 2022 was the year that nothing happened, and maybe it was all kosher for a minute. And then 2023 hit the fan, and then we go to 2024. 2024 happens. 2024 had its weird parts. I had a falling out with a friend in 2024, and it's actually kind of stupid. I feel like it's a story for like a whole different video. but it did kind of impact me a little bit harder than my sister-in-law incident did. And I'll talk about it a little bit. So I had this friend I've had since like junior high, right? And she and I, we were cool. She didn't even come to my wedding. And you want to know why? Because I didn't remind her to come to my wedding. She got an invite and everything. It's like, bitch, come on. Anyway, at the very end of 2023, she breaks up with her long-term boyfriend. So she starts coming around me more often. And I noticed that this was like a trend with her. She would always sort of start talking to me more, start coming around more, and big things happen in her life. And I mean, not just big happy things. I mean like big sad things, like big bad things. The last time she was close to me in my life before this was back in 2020 when she needed a place to live, and I let her rent a room in my house, and I will never let anybody rent a room in my house ever again thanks to that, because it was such a shit show, to be honest, and I hated pretty much every minute of it. I hate to say it. I kind of felt bad that I hated it so much because I felt like she's so nice, but whatever. Anyway, what happened was she'd come over maybe once or twice a week, and she was, you know, like, I thought naive or whatever. Like, a lot of people assume she was naive, and she hated that assumption about herself. But honestly, I saw that assumption about her too, and so did a lot of other people. And it is what it is, you know. Sometimes people just see you in a certain way because of the things that you do in your life. Like, for me, it just always seemed like she was making the same mistakes over and over again. Put a very long story short, she'd come over about once or twice a week, and it was usually after her therapy sessions. And so she had to go to therapy because of trauma and stuff, which is fine. Like, I get it. Everyone kind of has their own thing going on in life, and they all handle it differently. Now, she would come over right after therapy. She would talk about everything she talked to her therapist about that day. And, like, if her therapist said anything good or whatever. And then she would talk about everything she couldn't talk about in her therapy session that day because she didn't have enough time. And then she would talk about everything else that was going on in her life, mostly bad stuff, some good stuff. And what I noticed is that she only ever came around when shit hit the fan in her life and she needed someone to talk to. And that's understandable as a friend. I get that. It's whatever. Like, I get it. But after a while, I started seeing a trend of she's only really using me as, like, free therapy. I'm going to put this very long story as short as I possibly can. Our friendship ended in 2024 in, like, June or some shit. If you want an actual story time of that kind of tea, I can make a whole different video on it. I still have text messages from that conversation that day when we had the falling out. So sometimes I do reread them because I feel like a crazy nutcase. Because I'm like, did I really say shit wrong? Did I do shit wrong? And then I reread it, and then I talk to some people about it, and I'm just like, no, I don't know. I feel weird. Anyway, so I don't talk to her anymore either, but that's fine because it was mostly her talking anyway. So I'm not missing much. So that happened, and it took a minute for me to kind of get over it. I'm still trying to get over it because of how everything ended seemed a little fucked up. And again, another story for another video. September, I found out I'm pregnant again. 3 days later, 3 fucking days, guys, my husband gets fired from his job. I shit you not. 3 days after I find out I'm pregnant, he gets fired. Mind you, he's the breadwinner, so that automatically pushed like a panic button for me, you know? He spent 4 months finding a job. He was pretty much putting an application in every single day. Mind you, he has 10 years of retail management experience with Walmart. Now I'm going to tell you kind of the gist of what happened when he got fired. So my husband he went from, you know, backroom manager to front manager to this to that. They moved him around a lot because he was decent at his job enough for them to rely on him really, really hardcore at Walmart. And he was one of those salaried managers, right? And he was a salaried member of management for AP, which is asset protection. My husband pursued somebody who was stealing from Walmart, because this guy was like a regular too. He'd like regularly come into Walmart just to steal. It's like it was his job or something. And so this dude came in, fucking stole from Walmart again. And so my husband pursued him outside. Now there is, outside of a lot of Walmarts, there's like the yellow dots, you know, for the blind people. And policy is you are not supposed to pursue anybody further than those yellow dots. And he pursued someone further than those yellow dots. So who ratted him out, you ask? Good question. It was the thief himself who called corporate on my husband, ratted him out to corporate. And so corporate was actually one who fired my husband. I guess his boss didn't want to fire him, like his direct boss did not want to fire him for this. It was completely out of her hands. A lot of people were pissed off and upset about it. And my husband's one of those that's like, it's stupid, but it is my fault. So, I mean, he gets that it's kind of stupid, but it's also his fault, so it is what it is. We spent 4 months trying to find another job. He was like at home with our 3-year-old while I'm working full time. I'm also pregnant, so yeah. During this time, when I was about 8 weeks along, I had a subchorionic hemorrhage happen. I legit thought I was miscarrying this child. I had to go to the ER. We figure out it's just a hemorrhage thing. So they took me off of work for like 2 days for it. And everything's fine, actually. She's still growing. She's still kicking. She kicks me all the time. Everything's great. I just had an appointment, actually, with my OB on Tuesday. And I had the 20-week ultrasound last Friday, which was about a week ago. Everything's fine. Everything's good, actually. I haven't had any issues with that kind of thing since. But that was actually the one and only scary part during this pregnancy that I've had. Today was my husband's first day on the job at Dick's Sporting Goods. He actually works now as a manager at Dick's Sporting Goods. And what's cool about this particular job, I don't know too much about it yet because it's his first day, so he's at work right now. Yay! The long story short is, it's comparable to what he was making at Walmart as a manager there, except he's not going to be working his ass off, I think. Because I think Dick's Sporting Goods is like significantly smaller of a company and stuff. So like, from what it feels like, this is actually going to be like, I feel like a walk in the park for him. It's going to be different because it's a sporting goods store and not a Walmart. But obviously, it's going to be better for him. Both just working for a living and taking care of our kid, and TikTok is going down. It's going down in a fiery inferno of inferno-ness. So that's why I started posting again on the YouTube, because I figured if I'm going to make content, I might as well make content somewhere. And YouTube is where I started. For me, YouTube kind of died when I went on TikTok, because TikTok, it was significantly easier to just shoot, edit, and upload than it was for YouTube. Are these the same size? So I'm going to start, I guess, making content on YouTube again. Makes it funner for like longer form content. As you can tell, I keep having to take fucking long breaths. So like the weird part about my pregnancy has been I get out of breath a lot. I brought this up to my doctor. He says it's normal. Whatever. When I'm doing a lot of things. When I'm at work, and all I do at work is walk around and pick orders for people, right? But like, I get out of breath sometimes, and the only thing that seems to help, honestly, is drinking water. So I drink water like all the fucking time now. But there are still times where it's like I feel out of breath. Even just doing laundry and chit-chatting, I feel a little out of breath. But what helps is making sure I'm hydrated, and that I've eaten, and that I've pretty much sustained this before I sustain everything else. And I think that's what makes me a little bit lazier now, is that I have to take so much time sustaining the rest of me before I even do anything like this. I am doing like a little bit at a time when it comes to making the new baby's room. Basically, I'm swapping my kids' rooms, okay? All I have to do now is like actually move like baby things, like a baby swing, the car seat, which we still have. Like, it's just baby stuff that we use for our son, that now we can reuse for this new baby, which is really fucking helpful. What you want? Good job. I'm just folding some laundry here. Not you.
Why?
Because you're watching Pupstruction.
No.
Is that Paw Patrol?
Yes.
Oh,
It's not Pupstruction.
sorry. I get all your pup things confused.
Why?
You watch a lot of shows with dogs, dude. So since we pretty much lost TikTok, and I mean if we don't, then we don't. But if we do, then
Why?
it is what it is. Because I said so. But no, because the government said so. I didn't say get rid
Why?
of TikTok. The government said get rid of TikTok.
Guess why?
Why?
Because you think.
I'm not crazy. The government's crazy. See, I can say that.
Yeah.
I have Threads. I'm on that pretty much daily, so you can follow me there if you like. I have an Instagram, but again, I don't really like update it very much. So I might update Instagram once in a blue moon, but not really much going on with that right now. You don't know me in real life, don't try to add me on Facebook. I don't take strangers' friend requests from Facebook. I've done it before, and it's been weird. I have a podcast. It's called The Entertainment Sideshow. We just got done, me and Everett are the ones who are like hosting it, but basically you can find it on Podbean. We just got done filming the whole first season. We have not made a date on second season release yet, but we'll figure that out in due time. Entertainment Sideshow also has an Instagram page under the same name, so you can find us there as well. Basically, Entertainment Sideshow podcast is just about us talking about, the first season is just about anything and everything. It's entertainment, and entertainment's a very large umbrella, you know what I'm saying? So everything you can think of, video games, movies, board games, internet stuff, just anything labeled entertainment we kind of talk about. Thanks for watching me do laundry and bullshit with you. I'm gonna be around. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And